Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 29th January 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, all of you please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars, but we are providing this complete free training. You can access all the training lessons at our NeoStock YouTube channel. At our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community, so click on the Community tab. You get access to this free training course. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. You need to start our training from lesson 1.1 that is available at the bottom of the page. So I'm scrolling down. So starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen your skills related to supply demand zone price action. I have also provided the training instructions at our Telegram channel pinned messages. So please go to the Telegram channel. I provided the link in this video description. So go to the pinned messages and go through all the training instructions and learn the course according to the training instructions. Then you will become a very good independent trader. Okay, now let's get into the report generation. Initially I'm generating the stocks near demand and supply zones and also price closed inside the demand and supply zones from yearly time frame to daily time frame. Stocks near demand and supply zones I will provide for all the time frames. After that I will generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. After that I will generate Bullish and Bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. At the end of the report, I will generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. And when I am finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for daily and 75 minutes time frame, I will also identify high liquidity zones that you can apply as per the concepts you learned in lesson 21.3, that is HLQ zone strategy. That is purely for intraday traders. We are having 80% success rate for that strategy so far. And also we get average intraday ROI 6% for all the HLQ zone related trades based on one futures margin cost. Okay, now let me start with finding the stocks at a yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. 3 stocks are filtered. There are no stocks near demand and supply zones for yearly time frame. So these are the price closed inside the yearly demand zone. I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report and then you proceed with the next reports. Those who don't understand the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. That is part 1 of lesson 21. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations, everything in detail. Okay, next, yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly supply zone. No stocks are available. Next time frame is a half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. We got 1 stock. Next, half yearly time frame, stocks near half yearly supply zone. Again, we got 1 stock. Next, half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Next, half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone, 1 stock is filtered. Next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside, stocks near quarterly supply zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 33 stocks. So first 22 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. We can further filter this list based on the quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence at quarterly time frame, I am setting the filter quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And the trend during EMA confluence should not be sideways, so that it can be up or down. So with these filters, now the list is come down to 18 stocks. These 18 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. Okay, next quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Okay, next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Next, monthly time frame. Stocks near monthly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 43 stocks. First 18 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 43 stocks are filtered. Now we can further filter this list by setting the high probability parameter EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. And the trend on monthly time frame is either up or down, but not sideways. Let's filter. Now the list is come down to 19 from 43 stocks. These 19 stocks are filtered. And these 19 monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. And the trend at monthly time frame is either up or down. With these filters, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence, but all these monthly zones are pierced zones. You can apply pierced zone strategy that you learned in lesson 28. Okay. Next time frame is a weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Next, weekly time frame. Stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 13 stocks. Next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got 78 stocks. First 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list for the reference purpose. Later on I will filter the list with EMA confluence. So total 78 stocks. Out of these 78, we can further filter by setting the high probability parameter weekly EMA Confluence for the weekly zones. So in the EMA Confluence at a weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And when you set EMA Confluence, the trend should not be sideways on weekly time frame. So I am setting up or down. Let's filter. See, from 73, the list is come down to 7 stocks. Only these 7 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. And some of these zones are pierced zones. Those zones you can use for your pierced zone strategy. Land in lesson 28. Okay. Next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got 22 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 22 stocks are filtered. So out of these 22 weekly supply zones, how many supply zones are having EMA Confluence, weekly EMA Confluence? Let's set the filter EMA Confluence at a weekly time frame. I am setting the filter weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. And the trend on weekly time frame should be either up or down, but not sideways. So I set up and down trend filter. Let's filter. We got 8 stocks out of 22. These 8 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. And current price is closed inside the weekly supply zone. Okay, next time frame is daily. Entry time frame daily, let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 3 stocks. High liquidity zones, we have Burger Paint is having a high liquidity zone, and Punjab National Bank is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. So we identified 2 high liquidity demand zones from this list. Okay, next, daily time frame, let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. We got 16 stocks. Out of these 16, we need to identify high liquidity daily supply zones. CAMS is having a high liquidity zone. Glenmark is having a high liquidity zone. Grasim is pierced, it is not valid. NMDC is pierced, it is not valid. Next, PI Industries is having a high liquidity zone. That's it. We identified 3 high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Okay. Next, daily time frame. Let us find the stocks in price closed inside the daily demand zone. 34 stocks are filtered, and the first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 34 stocks are filtered. And we can further filter this list by setting the high probability parameter daily EMA Confluence for these daily demand zones. So in the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence, and the trend on the daily time frame should be either up or down. With these filters, we got 5 stocks from 34. The list is come down to 5. And these 5 daily demand zones are having a daily EMA Confluence. Couple of these daily zones are pierced zones. I think 3 stocks are pierced zones out of 5. Those 3 zones you can use for pierced zone strategy, learned in lesson 28. Okay, this is about price closed inside the daily demand zone. Next, daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone. We got 48 stocks, and the first 15 stocks in the list I am scrolling the list down. So total 48 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list by setting the high probability parameter daily EMA Confluence for these daily supply zones. So in the EMA Confluence filter at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence, and the trend on the daily time frame should be either up or down, but they should not be sideways, because EMA Confluence does not make any sense in a sideways trend. Okay, with these filters, the list is come down to 20 stocks from 58, right? Okay. So first 15 stocks in the list, all these daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence, and also current price closed inside the daily supply zones. Some of these supply zones are pierced zones. I am scrolling the list down. So total 20 stocks are filtered. Pierced zones, you can use pierced zone strategy. Always you have to look into PIE column to find for the supply zones. Check, see here, this is a pierced supply zone. Demand zones you should not. That way you can apply the strategy. Why not demand zones? Because currently price closed inside the supply zones. We get immediately the opportunities in the supply zones. That is how you should understand when you are analyzing. Demand zones also you can analyze, but it is waste of your time at this point of time. When prices are nearing to the demand zone or inside the demand zone, you should focus on the demand zones. When prices are far away from the demand zones, focusing on the demand zones is waste of our analysis time. Okay, this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Next, 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 24 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Okay. Next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. About India is having a high liquidity zone. It is also having high liquidity supply zone. Sometimes you get trade opportunities either side when both are high liquidity zones until one of them is violated. Next, MFSL. That's it. We identified 2 high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Next, 75 minutes time frame. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 27 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list I am scrolling the list down. So total 27 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high liquidity 75-minute supply zones from this list. Nifty next 50, it is listed in F&O. So it is a valid for the trade point of view. So this is the first one, Nifty next 50. IEX is having a high liquidity zone. IndusInd Bank is having a high liquidity zone. IPCL Labs is having a high liquidity zone. JSW Steel is having a high liquidity zone. Kalyani Jewelries is having a high liquidity zone. And UPL is having a high liquidity zone. So total we identified 7 high liquidity 75-minute supply zones from this list. Okay. Next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 14 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Let us further filter this list based on this zone confluence. ITF zone confluence, that is a 15 minutes demand zone having confluence with 75 minutes demand zone. So I set the filter. Now the list is come down to only 1 stock. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Let us further filter based on this zone confluence, ITF supply zone confluence, that is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. I enable the filter. Now the list is come down to 2 stocks. That means these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone. That means they are overlapped. That is what zone confluence you already learned. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Let us check any of these zones are having ITF demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. And I am enabling the filter. So with this filter, 2 stocks we got. Okay, next for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Out of these 11 supply zones, so how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us filter. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. So with this filter, we got 7 stocks. In these 7 few stocks, I think 1 stock is a pierced supply zone. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. We also identified daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. So next set of reports are about Nifty and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Let's start with Nifty first. So generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. So this is Nifty monthly supply demand zone chain. always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones, and always look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. Until daily time frame, you can identify traps or new order flows as you learned in lesson 28. But below time frames, better avoid the zones. And always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. And remaining are one time frame higher and one more time frame higher, LTF, ITF. This is the way you apply the same rules for the remaining reports. Remaining time frame reports for Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Okay, next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. I'm giving you only few seconds time, so you need to pause and then you have to proceed. After study, you have to proceed further. Okay, next, daily supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 125 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 75 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 25 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Twenty is the most recent demand zone. Okay, next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. (32) is the most recent. So because the list is small, I am scrolling the list down. The 32, let me put it in the center. Okay. Below all are demand zone. This is the most recent demand zone to the current closing price, and also 31 is the most recent supply zone to the current closing price. And all these are all above supply zones, and all these are all below demand zones. This is the way you should understand the report. Okay, next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. 48 is the most recent demand zone to the current closing price. 47 is the most recent supply zone. So let me put it in the center. Okay. So this is about a Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, we will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. Remember, this entire data is equity data. I never use futures data for generating the reports because futures data is not accurate for using technical analysis because of the premium values they are adding into the market prices. Okay, monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Let me put it in the center. Excuse me. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. (30-second), this is the demand zone. Let me put it in the center. Okay, this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next set of reports are about bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. So monthly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame is daily, entry zone demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup parameter at entry time frame daily, I am setting bullish. Zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. And both these filters are applied to daily demand zone. Let's filter. We got 7 stocks currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Let's verify how many of these monthly demand zones are having more high priority demand zones. Monthly income trade, entry time frame is daily demand zones. All these are all daily demand zones. Some of these daily demand zones are already having high priority because they are high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can further set the even more to look for even more priority based on the zone confluence. So we have 2 filters. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. So let's further filter based on that. That is the daily and weekly demand zone confluence. That means the daily demand zone should be part of the weekly demand zone, should overlap, so that weekly order flows are stronger. That is what our belief compared to the daily. When it is there inside the weekly, the order flow is much stronger. See, out of 7, now the list is come down to 6. Within these 6, again we can further filter for even more highest probability point of view to get the success. We can filter based on the EMA confluence. Because daily zone is part of the weekly zone, we can look for weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Let me set that filter in the EMA confluence at weekly time frame. I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. And already weekly trend is down for all these stocks, ITF trend. In bullish trade setup, ITF trend always trend is uptrend, you know that. See, now 2 stocks are filtered. And all these, both these 2 stocks are even much more high priority setup supported stocks. Okay. So in bullish trade setup monthly income trade, let us filter based on this second filter, LTF and ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. Sorry, demand zone confluence. This is bullish trade setup. So LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. That is a daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we are focusing on HTF specific. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. Already LTF, ITF filter is already we enabled in the previous report. So remaining 2 filters, daily demand zone having monthly demand zone confluence, weekly demand zone having monthly demand zone confluence, With all the three filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone, confluence, we got three stocks. In these three stocks, these daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone. Both together again part of the monthly demand zone. That means everything is part of the monthly zone. Monthly means HTF. HTF trend is up in first two stocks. So these two stocks are having a monthly EMA confluence. They could be even more high priority supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, and the trend and monthly time frame should be uptrend, should not be sideways. So with this filter we got both these stocks. So that means both these stocks are even much more higher priority stocks. So this is about a bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bearish, and the zone achievement should be violated opposing zone, and minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. Both filters are applied to daily supply zone. Let's filter the stocks. We got 4 stocks currently supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, and all these entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. We have 4 daily supply zones. Out of these 4, 3 are already high priority zones based on high liquidity. One zone Kotak we may apply Piercer zone strategies land in lesson 28. Okay. So within these 4, we can further filter based on the zone confluence. First filter LTF, ITF, supply zone confluence. That is daily and weekly supply zone confluence. Supply zone confluence we have to use. Daily and weekly supply zone confluence. That filter is enabled. We got 3 stocks. Out of 4 we got 3. And these supply zones, daily supply zones are part of the weekly supply zone. And if these, because they are part of weekly supply zone, if weekly supply zone is having weekly EMA confluence, because the weekly trend is down in all the 3 stocks, ITF trend. So those stocks could be even much more high priority. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence weekly time frame, because daily supply zone is part of the weekly supply zone. That's why we are setting the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. 2 stocks are filtered. So these 2 supply zones are even much more high priority supported supply zones. This is LTF and ITF specific and ITF EMA confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF specific. So I am removing this EMA filter which is specific to ITF. Now we are focusing on HTF. So in the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is LTF and ITF zone confluence, so that is already enabled, daily and weekly. Second filter is daily supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. Third filter is weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence, we got 1 stock. So in this stock, this daily supply zone is part of the weekly supply zone. And both together again they are part of the monthly supply zone. That means they are overlapped with monthly. And monthly trend is sideways. Even if you set EMA confluence filter, it does not add any extra advantage. So let's leave it here. So this is bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily. Daily supply zone here. So next income trade is a weekly income trade. So first weekly income trade, bullish trade setup. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting bullish. And 3 filters we have to set for this 75 minutes demand zone. First filter is 75 minutes demand zone, should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count should be 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score is 12. And all the 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Let's filter the stocks. We got 3 stocks. And these 3 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So all these 3 75 minutes demand zones. And these demand zones are already high priority zones because of high liquidity zones. We can further add even more priority or probability to check based on the zone confluence. So first is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Let's verify. That is 75 minutes demand zone should be part of the daily demand zone. So in the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With this filter, out of 3, we got all the 3 stocks. That means all the 3 stocks, these 75 minute zones are overlapped with daily demand zones. Okay, they are overlapped with daily. And the daily trend is up, ITF trend. So if daily demand zone having daily EMA, there could be even more high priority zones, these zones, daily zones. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, because 75 minutes demand zone is part of the daily demand zone. That's why we are looking for daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 1 stock. So this is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. That's why it is already tested 6 times. Previously we have seen it was tested 5 times. Now it is that means recently again tested and again moving towards the supply zone. Excellent. So next, LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Let's verify. I am removing this ITF specific EMA filter. So in the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. That is 75 with daily. That is LTF, ITF filter. We already set in the previous report. And second filter is 75 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Third filter is daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence. We got 3 stocks. All 3 are supporting even LTF, ITF, HTF. What does it mean? These 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone, both together again part of the weekly demand zone. All these 3 75 minutes demand zones. And the weekly trend is up in all the 3 stocks. If any of these 3 stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high priority trade setup supported stocks. So in the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, because 75 minutes entry zone together with daily zone is part of the weekly zone. That means overlapped with weekly. So we got 1 stock. So this is the reason why Bharti Airtel is all these days giving multiple testing from this zone. Excellent. So this is about bullish trade setup, weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup, weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup parameter at entry time frame 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Now for this 75 minute supply zone, we should set 3 filters. First filter is 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 75 minutes time frame. I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone and achievement, second filter, violated opposing zone. Third filter, minimum odd enhanced score should be 12. All three filters are applied to 75 minute supply zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got 15 stocks. Currently these 15 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. So all these 75 minute supply zones are supporting bearish trade setup. Out of these 75 minute supply zones, how many are having a zone confluence? Let us further filter, because some are already high priority supply zones because they are having high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we are also setting additional parameter to get high probability zones based on the zone confluence. Zone confluence, two filters we have to set. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence, that is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. So I am enabling that filter, 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With this filter, we got 11 stocks. In all these 11 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. That means overlapped with daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. That's why if daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, these 75 minute supply zones could be even much more high priority supported zones. Let us verify. So in the EMA confluence at daily time frame, why daily 75 minute zone is part of the daily zone, overlapped with daily zone. That's why we are setting daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So with this filter, we got 10 stocks from 11. So these 10 are even much more high priority supported, bearish trade setup supported stocks. Okay, now we can set the next filter, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter, it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF specific. So that's why in the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled in the previous report, LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is a daily, that is 75 minutes with daily supply zone is already enabled. Second filter is 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Third filter is daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. We enabled all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence. We got 4 stocks. That means in these 4 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone, both together again part of the weekly supply zone. And the weekly trend is down in 2 stocks, first one and fourth one. If any of those 2 stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, then these 75 minute supply zones are much more high priority supported stocks. Excuse me. So in the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, I am setting the filter, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, and also in the trend, weekly time frame, I am verifying the stocks have a weekly trend having downtrend but not sideways. Let's verify. We got both the stocks we got. So that means both these stocks are even more high priority supported 75 minute supply zones. Moreover, both these stocks are high liquidity zones. That is the reasons why see ABC Capital already tested 3 times. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, we will generate daily income trade reports, bullish and bearish trade setups. First, daily income trade, bullish trade setup. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup parameter, at 15 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting bullish. And we need to set 3 filters for 15 minutes demand zone. First filter is 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So that's why in the pierced count parameter, here we have that parameter. In this entry time frame 15 minutes, I need to set minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. Second filter, zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Third filter, minimum odd enhanced score should be 12. And all three filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. Now we got 7 stocks. These 7 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And the entry time frame is 15 minutes demand zone. In all these 15 minutes demand zones, they are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Okay, out of these 7, some are already having high probability for these zones because they are high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can also set even more high probability by checking zone confluence. We need to set 2 filters. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Let's verify that. LTF is 15 minutes, ITF is 75 minutes. So we are setting the filter 15 minutes demand zone having 75 minutes demand zone confluence. So with this filter, we got 5 stocks. So that means in these 5 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. That means they are overlapped with 75 minutes zone. Because they are overlapped with 75 minutes zone and also 75 minutes trend is uptrend in all these stocks, ITF trend. And if 75 minutes zone is having daily EMA confluence, maybe those stocks are even much more high priority supported stocks. Let's verify. In these 5 stocks, I am setting the filter EMA confluence on 75 minutes time frame because 15 minutes entry time frame zone is overlapped with 75 minutes zone. That's why I am setting the filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. And these 3 are even more high priority supported stocks. Okay. Next, we will look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. So I am removing ITF specific filter. So in the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, that is LTF, ITF specific in the previous report. This is the one we already set. And the second filter is 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Third filter is 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF and HTF confluence, we got 3 stocks. And in these 3 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again part of the daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in only one stock. If this stock is having daily EMA confluence, it could be even more high probability supported stock. The daily zone with daily, because 15 minutes and 75 minutes both are part of the daily zone, overlapped with the daily zone. That's why in the EMA confluence, I am setting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. And the trend should not be sideways on daily. Because it is bullish trade setup, trend should be uptrend. Let's verify. So we didn't have any daily EMA confluence supported stocks. Okay, next let us look for, okay, fine. We set all LTF, ITF, HTF, everything here. Okay. Next we will look for bearish trade setup, daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at entry time frame 15 minutes, I am selecting bearish. And for this 15 minute supply zone, we should set 3 filters. First filter is this 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So that's why in the pierced count parameter, at 15 minutes entry time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. And zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhanced score should be 12. All three filters are applied to 15-minute supply zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got a big list. We got 24 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And the first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So these 24 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15-minute supply zones. We have 24 15-minute supply zones. Out of these 24, some of the supply zones are already having high priority because they are high liquidity supply zones. 15 minutes, high liquidity supply zones. We can further add more probability by filtering based on the zone confluence, supply zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75-minute supply zone confluence. So let us set that filter. So I am enabling the filter. 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. With this filter, out of 24, the list is come down to 24, all 24. So that means all these 24 stocks are having ITF confluence. So they are these 15-minute supply zones are part of the 75-minute supply zone. Now we can further filter this list based on the EMA confluence, because 15-minute supply zone is part of the 75-minute supply zone. If 75-minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, because the 75-minute trend is down in all these stocks, that's why there could be even more high probability bearish trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, I am setting the filter on the 75-minute time frame, because 15-minute supply zone is part of the 75-minute supply zone. That's why I am setting 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence or not. Let's verify. We got 8 stocks. So these 8 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Some are already tested multiple times, because of high liquidity zones, and also they are having a LTF and ITF EMA confluence. Okay, this is LTF and ITF specific. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF specific supported stocks. That is 15 minutes, daily, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. So I have to remove this EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF specific. So in the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled in the previous report. That is 15 minutes with 75-minute supply zone confluence. Second filter is 15-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter is 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence, we got 9 stocks. That means in these 9 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are part of the 75-minute supply zone. Both together again part of the daily supply zone. That means overlapped with daily supply zone. That means everything is overlapped with daily zone. And the daily trend is a downtrend in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stocks out of 9. If any of those 6 stocks are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Why daily supply zone? Because 15-minute zone together with 75-minute zone is part of the daily zone. That's why we are looking for daily supply zone with daily EMA confluence. So let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, because 15-minute zone together with 75-minute zone is part of the daily zone, overlapped with daily zone. So daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. I am verifying. And the trend on the daily time frame should be downtrend, not sideways. So I verified downtrend, set the downtrend. So with these filters, out of 9, we got 6 stocks. And these 6 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks, because all these stocks are all these zones, these 15-minute supply zones are inside the daily supply zone, and daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence. So these are the bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. We have daily ATRs. Okay, now I am scrolling the list down, whichever the stock you want to use. There you pause the video, after that you can proceed further. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this report will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.